Hi, my name is Alex Stefan Lungu, and I am consultant at LaConseil, Brussels, Belgium. I invite you to a journey of approximately 90 minutes in the world of digital transformation. This subject is topical and the concept is very broad, but I will limit myself to the following main concepts. First of all, we will discuss about the emergence of digital transformation, how it appeared in the world, what is actually digital transformation as a concept. Then we will talk about what does successful digital transformation mean. Afterwards, we will discuss a bit about how we can overcome common digital transformation challenges. And last but not least, we will give some relevant examples of digital transformation. So, first of all, digital transformation has rapidly become one of the most important and misunderstood buzzwords on the internet today. It is a complex concept that needs really a deep and good understanding. It is more than just adding technology to an already sophisticated and complex set of systems. According to EUX view, digital transformation is commonly the adoption of digital technology that has the capability to transform the business. So basically, we can adopt different digital processes that we go from manual to digital in order to transform and radically improve our business. Basically, digital transformation is the process of replacing or enhancing traditional business processes with digital technologies. The main goal of this transformation is to improve and streamline processes at all levels. So basically, digital transformation will be here for the next decade or so, in order to help us to improve and move on and adapt to the digital world in which we live in today. In a now common example, as I'm sure all of you have heard, many medical offices are now paper-free, or at least are moving that way. So basically, patients fill out medical documents on a tablet, and records are migrated through the system digitally, replacing the highly inefficient paper folders from yesterday. So basically, we try to move on from the infinite paperwork to digital world, in which we can all access our data, and also the doctors can do it in a digital way. So even with a relatively modest example like this one, shifting from paper to electronic records, this is the first step and the most basic one in which digital transformation can improve how companies serve their customers. However, as we'll see in the examples below from the next slides, this digital transformation can require a seismic shift in process, so a large shift, a large amount of change, which is translated in a considerable investment of time and money in technology and staffing. So basically, if we want to digitalize our company, we have to do it first with our processes, then with our people, but this will require a significant amount of time, dedication, and also money that we need in order to convert our manual processes to automated ones. Virtually every example of digital transformation requires some form of cloud computing, which is a very important concept related to this digital transformation. And of course, when we talk about cloud computing, we can use more than one cloud provider, as I think we all heard about, like Google, Amazon, Microsoft. These are all some very popular examples of cloud providers in which we can store our data in cloud and some servers that these providers offer us. Of course, that most examples require machine learning. Also a significant element of data analytics, which is a very important part also of this digital transformation. And increasingly, a long-lasting support from artificial intelligence software, which will also play an important part in the digital transformation of the companies and also of the countries. Because this digital transformation doesn't come in only one form when we refer to companies, but also to us as people, and also to macroeconomic level, country, and even European Union and the whole world can be transformed with digitalization. Of course, it is obvious that most businesses can't achieve this transformation on their own because they have limited capabilities and they need an expert in this area. So they'll need to partner with digital transformation companies which are specialized in this matter field to enhance their odds of success. So if we want to achieve success and not waste too much money and resources, also time, we need to set up a partnership with digital transformation company. But of course, because the advantages are so great, even deep investment is typically justified. In the long run, many of the digital transformation deployments become examples of success. Of course, there will be also some examples of insuccesses, let's say, some failures, but most of the businesses that will invest a significant amount of time, money, and resources in this area will manage to transform from a digital point of view. Digital transformation also, as an example, include IT modernization. Like, for example, we switch to a cloud environment. So as a company, we do not have any more, let's say, papers physically. We do not list so many documents, but we try to work in a cloud environment, in a digital world, in which everyone can have access to a certain type of document, and but not having it like physically, but in a cloud environment. Being remote ready, as I've said already, reskilling employees, because of course we'll have to get ready not on the managerial level but also on the employee level. So if we want to achieve a full and complete digital transformation, we'll have to reskill our employees to adapt them to the new digital world and transformation of the companies. But also we'll need to implement automation to accelerate customer support and service. Like, for example, as we all have seen, I think, on the websites, we have a chatbot, for example, that will automatically respond to our requests. But in the past, this was done with like people, like with our employees, and not automatically. But if we have some, let's say, more deep and complex problems to address to the company, of course, the chatbot will transfer the task to an employee responsible with taking care of you as a client. And of course, last but not least, as I've mentioned before, using AI-driven insights to enhance sales efficiency. There are many countless real-life examples of companies going through digital transformation in many industries like finance, healthcare, telecom, manufacturing, construction, logistics, and many more to reinvent specific business cases. Or, of course, why not reinvent their organization from top to bottom? Next, I invite you to watch together with me a very interesting movie about digital transformation and future scenarios 2030.
Of what this transformation might perspectives on what the German enterprise landscape could look like in 2030.
Integrated platform provider. Hi, I'm Peter. I'm proud to be working for a large German mobility provider, which is what car makers have evolved into, if you like. As a student, developing software was my thing. So in this job, I have to stretch myself every day, as the main emphasis of my role is on developing software-based customer experiences. We have all evolved from being the legendary German engineers to being humble solution designers. Just imagine the faces of my colleagues at this once mighty car maker. My team consists of colleagues from different departments and across the entire value chain. Many joined us from smaller companies that did not make it in the global platform market. The good news is that the general level of skill in the country is good. Talent with the right skill focus from respected universities is abundantly available. Then again, older colleagues have trouble finding a landing place in this new world. My company tries to soften the blow by setting up lifelong learning programs. My daily work routine is fully digital, in line with the rest of our day-to-day life in Germany. That turn of events was not obvious 10 years ago. We all had to invest significantly in building up a digital infrastructure and had to accept the new rules of the game, which was painful at times. But now, I really identify with my job. I work for a global market leader that has a strong home base. In our industry, we set standards for the rest of the world.
Specialized frontrunners. Hi, my name is Mia. I work for a medical device manufacturer, a small niche player with highly innovative products and services. My employer is part of a big national alliance of healthcare providers that aims to offer integrated solutions. Oh my, this alliance is painful. We spend years making the various standards compatible, but it is the only way forward. The largest player in the market just went bankrupt. They made a huge investment in a connected care solution platform that never paid off. Such ideas are just too costly and too complex for a single enterprise to manage. Our alliance launched an integrated offering, and all participants now share the competitive advantage. However, if I am honest, I am envious of some of our alliance partners who have become specialists in the vanguard of their segment and are experiencing global demand for their products and services. In my engineering department, we spend most of our R&D budget on fulfilling compatibility requirements, a boring yet tricky task. New talent is drawn from inside our company. We retrain and upskill them since other departments have experienced many job cuts in recent years. But I really don't want to complain. With that alliance, I hope that we will be able to compete with our integrated solution at a global level, which would be a step up for us. For far too long, we have been watching from the sidelines. Copycats. Hello, my name is Anna. I work for a domestic consumer technology company. My department is called Product Innovation. However, we don't do any innovation in the real sense. As a trend scout, I fly around the world trying to find new goods and services that we can copy and adapt. But our market shares are on the decline because, to be quite honest, we are losing unique IP every day. The latest idea is to work as the extended workbench of integrated globally dominant platform players just to keep the company afloat. Even though I travel a lot, my firm is losing global reach and we focus only on the domestic and a few emerging markets. Reduced R&D budgets make my job a vital source of development. Many of our competitors have moved to more business-friendly and technologically advanced markets. We use our scarce financial resources to increase our efficiency. Here, increased automation of processes was the big step. This meant massive layoffs across the board. A lot of my friends lost their jobs. But the future is not bleak for everyone. We urgently need engineers to drive our automation, which is a task our traditional workforce is not trained for. We try to participate in upskill programs offered by public institutions. Some of our smaller competitors can handle the situation better, as they can quickly adapt new technologies and service concepts. Maybe we will be able to replicate their success.
The Master Combiner. This is Alex. I'm a freelance designer with a background in customer-centric services. Various companies, known and unknown, work with me to combine existing technologies with proven customer-centric offerings. We copy approaches that already exist and focus on integrated, pragmatic offerings by using and applying other market players' portfolios. However, sometimes it's disappointing for me to see how slow we are to adapt new technologies. My clients are constantly trying to expand. They want to leverage economies of scale. The name of the game is to automate more and more processes to achieve efficiency. But this is accompanied by an increasing number of layoffs. The R&D spending of my clients is focused rather on evolution than on revolution. The same could be said about the German workforce as a whole, who are under great pressure from global experts. I did not choose to work as a freelancer. My old company went bankrupt. However, I feel lucky to have turned that corner. Enterprises need pragmatic thinkers with the right skills. People like me. Freelancing gets my foot into their door, as most firms now shy away from high fixed costs. More and more of my clients are smaller, agile players. They adapt more quickly to new technologies and develop novel service concepts. That's their way of competing with the big players. But they have a difficult challenge ahead. Developing integrated solutions is impossible for the small guys. I have come to like my job. It is always a challenge to combine different, existing technologies into customer-centric offerings.
These are 4 different scenarios that show how differently the future for German enterprises might play out. The choices companies make will have an impact on people like Peter, Mia, Anna, and Alex. At Deloitte, we observe trends and events happening right now which could take us into any one of these futures. Are you ready to place your bet?
Yes, so as we all have seen in this short movie, everything is about digital transformation of the world and also of the companies, and a conclusion you might take from this interesting short film is that if we don't adapt as a company to the ever-changing future, we might go bankrupt. But also, if we adapt and try to keep up the pace with the future that is offered, we might also as well succeed, and on a big scale. Next, we'll have a look at an interesting chart from Market Research Future. This is a very, very big market. The digital transformation market is expected to grow at a very high pace. So within 2018, the market was evaluated at $250 billion. In 2025, the market is expected to grow at $17 billion. So this is compound annual growth rate of around 18.87%. So basically at an yearly rate of 18% is a very steep and very high rate of growth. So as we've all seen this many successful examples, it's no surprise that this market is forecasted to grow, as I've said, to around $800 billion. But what does successful digital transformation mean? So this is the key to all our questions. Since it often involves large-scale transformation and reinvention of all facets of an organization, it is very difficult to gauge the success of the digital transformation. Some examples of this might include initiatives taken by many organizations that have the below very important 4 indicators as a journey towards success. So since it is often involved large-scale transformation and also reinvention of all facets of an organization, we need to constantly adapt, but it is also at the same time difficult to gauge or to predict the success of the digital transformation. We might go for a digital process, let's say, but this doesn't guarantee us that we will go for a successful digital transformation. But if we manage to go further and get to the end of this transformation, the outcomes will be really impressive, and the results will continue to grow, and our company will continue to grow with the transformation for many years to come. So the examples of digital transformation initiatives taken by many organizations have the below 4 indicators as a journey towards success. So let's see which are these 4 indicators. First of all, we can talk about operational efficiency. This is one of the most important indicators that indicates that we have achieved complete and successful digital transformation. According to a PTC survey, 40% of management executives believe that operational efficiency is the biggest advantage that the digital transformation brings. So according to a high-level standing of at an executive level, 40% of these executives believe that operational efficiency is the most important pillar that the digital transformation is built upon. Basically, technology is helping organizations find new and better ways to work. So we leave away the old and inefficient processes, and we adopt a more efficient and digital-centered process approach. Also, another important pillar of digital transformation is customer needs. Basically, companies that have implemented digital transformation successfully will be better positioned to respond to the needs of their customers, but they'll manage to achieve and to understand the needs of the customers better, but not only today, but also in the future. So this will be a topic, a very important pillar to be taken into consideration, because as we all experienced from along the time, the demand of the customers is constantly evolving, so we have to adapt and try to predict what the customer will want. As many of you I think I know, Steve Jobs was an example of he was ahead of his time, of course, with many years. He was also a few steps ahead of the customer demand. So basically he knew with a few years ahead what customer will want in a few years in the future. So that's why he was so successful, and the company Apple is so successful, because they managed to predict what the customers want today, but also in a few years. So this is a very important aspect, and also we need to adapt to what customers want and predict if we want to be successful and not go bankrupt. So another important pillar is related to revenue growth. Of course, the digital transformation has a definitive impact on revenue growth. Another important company that realizes this type of studies, McKinsey, reports that B2B companies spend 10% less while achieving a 10 to 15% growth by transforming their customer experience. So everything is in one way or another related to this customer satisfaction achieving level. Basically, if we manage to predict what the customer will want in a few years time, Windows time, we'll manage to grow our revenues by a 10 to 15%. And also, of course, because we optimize our processes, we'll manage to spend 10% less. So we'll have operational costs which will be less with 10%. And of course, this digital transformation will manage to achieve us competitive and a very important competitive leverage or advantage. Because this digital transformation helps businesses take full advantage of fast evolving technologies. Yes, so basically when we manage to achieve digital transformation, we manage to leverage on all the latest technologies that could give us an edge over competitors. As we all seen in the short movie presented earlier, the companies that managed to adapt survived, and the ones that didn't manage to adapt, they didn't survive. So this adaptation, which is formed of including the latest technologies and the fast evolving ones, will give us a very important and strong competitive advantage over competitors. But these technologies will also drive constant innovation, so you will not be stuck in all technologies. We'll try to innovate as a company very much and at a constant level. and also build a more skilled workforce. If we adopt AI technology based instruments, we will not have to dismiss the employees, the workforce. We'll not to lay off the workforce. We'll have to reskill them and basically include them in a more technology-based universe in which we'll have a high level of skill, a digital level, I mean. So in order to help the companies complete a digital transformation project, your organization and our organization and any organization basically can choose to hire, and will have to do it, to hire digital transformation company, as we have discussed in the beginning, or a consultancy company. So basically, in order to understand better the digital transformation processes that we need to adopt, we will have to hire a company that can say to us, okay, which processes, so basically we need to make an analysis at the company level and tell us basically what we need to achieve, what we need to do in order to achieve the digital transformation for our specific needs as a company. So basically these companies, these firms have experts with a very broad ranging technology, but also business experience that can assist us in creating and implementing a digital strategy. So basically we have very skilled employees and experts that can aid us in implementing a digital transformation process that is really beneficial for a specific situation in the company. So we have some important benefits of hiring a digital transformation company to help us that may include the following things. First of all, they can help us with a faster transformation. If we try to do this digital transformation alone, you might end up in spending a lot of time and money in a very long period and not achieving the results that might bring us this digital transformation company. Of course, we might be subjective if we approach the situation from our own perspective. So, what this company can give us? An outside perspective on our organization's strengths and weaknesses. So they can do a very objective evaluation of our company. Let's see what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses. What can we improve? How can we go on further in order to adopt digital transformation in an efficient manner? Of course, they can aid us with their broad experience with unfamiliar technologies, because they are really really experienced. They have experienced people, so they can bring this amount of know-how and knowledge in our company in order to help us achieve this digital transformation. We might not be familiar with all the technologies, so they can help us in this regard. Of course, beyond this familiarization with technology, they can also help us with industry and regulatory knowledge. So of course, we do not know the technologies in order to achieve digital transformation, but we also might not know what are the industry and regulatory rules that we must obey in order to achieve a correct and full digital transformation. They can also bring to our company innovative new ideas in this respect. So basically they can say, okay, let's see what are the trends in this area of digital transformation, because we do not have all the knowledge that we need. We only know our situation of the company, but these digital transformation companies can help us achieve efficiency by implementing innovative and new ideas. And the employees of our company might be really, let's say, stressed out. So these companies, these consultancy and digital transformation companies might aid us in relieving the employees of some of the burden of strategic work. So we do not have to do it on our own. They can help us in this, in achieving this respect. Okay, so the next slide is about how can we overcome common digital transformation challenges. So, as I've emphasized before, this is not called a transformation for no reason. It's a very complex process that will take us time, resources, money, and also will test our patience and our nerves. So basically, we are changing the whole way our business operates, which is no easy feat to achieve. But it's a necessary one. It's, let's say, with the marking codes, that it's a necessary evil in some way that we have to achieve in order to adapt to an ever-changing market. So below we have some common challenges that we will face and how can we overcome them. So the teams of employees from our company will have to, first of all, learn some habits. This is a very, very important aspect because many people are resistant to change. So many employees will have to change their way of thinking and their way of working, basically. So this will be a very, very important overcome that we need to, a very important challenge that we need to overcome. So basically, we'll also have to get used to new structures and ways of collaborating, because we'll not collaborate in the same way that we did before. We'll also have to deal with changing roles in the organization and develop new skills. So basically, we'll change everything, almost everything that the company is accustomed to and the employees are accustomed to. So we'll have to rethink everything. And of course, that all of these challenges that I said before takes time, takes a lot of time, and as I said, resources, money, because we need to integrate all these new systems with the old ones. And there is a risk that the teams will get siloed and chaos will ensue. So basically what might happen, that some employees will be brought to a place where they're not accustomed with. So basically they will not, let's say, manage to adapt. So we'll have to take care of this, that all the employees will adapt. We'll try to work with all the departments they were assigned to. And an important key of overcoming these challenges that might appear is planning. By planning, we'll have to plan everything in advance in order to not throw our company into chaos. So, in a concrete manner, what does this planning mean? We'll have to create a digital transformation strategy roadmap in advance. So we'll have to mention what we want to do, how we want to do it, with what resources, in order to plan everything accordingly. So basically we have to outline our integration strategy and detail how this will affect each team. So the employees will have an idea what will happen, but also the management level will need to have a, a good understanding of these challenges. Okay, we are here. How can we change, and what will this be composed of? What will mean this change to us? We'll need to be very aware of the situation at hand. So once we've created this plan, we'll have to share it with the entire company so that everyone, of course, can use it as a single reference point. So basically, we'll have to make everyone aware of what this change will mean, how we'll impact it, and what will be the future ahead of us. We can also use a project management tool that allows team members to get a big picture overview and see granular details like the tasks they're responsible for. So basically they will have to know all the details that were involved in this digital transformation. And also it takes time for teams to onboard and move away from what was successful under the previous system, and we'll have to get accustomed to a new system. We'll try to adapt, and most importantly, we have to ensure that our employees and our management level will not get stuck in the past. Like for example, shifting from heavyweight to lightweight project planning. And we'll have to make sure that we factor in some breathing space in our roadmap, so we can give everyone a chance to get used to the new way of operating. This is very important. Okay, so next, as part of a digital transformation, we want our team to develop also new skills. So this is a very important aspect to take into consideration. We have to upskill our team by incorporating digital skills in our employee development plans. We need to provide people with opportunities to learn and then track their progress. But of course, along the road, more challenges will arise if we believe there is an end state to digital transformation. We might get stuck on the road to achieving digital transformation. So that's why we need to have a very good battle plan. And of course, new technology and new customer behaviors are always emerging, as we've emphasized a few slides before, which means this digital transformation is a live process, is a very lively process, and an ongoing one. We need to constantly adapt to the needs and to the demands, to the behaviors of the customers. And this is a long battle. It's not something that we'll manage to complete in a week or so. It's a continuous state of experimentation as an improvement. So it's a very, very important and long fight that we'll have. And as we've emphasized before, it's very important to always focus on our customers, to understand their needs and their behavior. How are they acting? Are they reacting good to what we implemented? Are they giving us some negative feedback? So we need to keep customers' needs at the heart of everything that we do. We need to let them be our guiding light as we go through the digital transformation. So if we want to move forward with some ideas, first we need to ask the customers, see what they think, see what they give us as a feedback. Customer feedback is a very important aspect of the digital transformation, but also in a classical way of thinking. And as we gather more data about how our customers interact with our new digital products, we need to use them in order to experience even better, to make the experience even better for them. Because this, if we do this, it will lead to more trust and loyalty from the customers, will create a very large and loyal customer base, and of course ultimately we will get more recurring revenue from our customers that will come back to our company and buy our products or services. We have now some examples of digital transformation in retail, let's say. In 2017, Domino's Pizza adopted artificial intelligence and chatbot technology to create a conversational interface with Facebook Messenger. So this is, you might say, a not so innovative field of operation, let's say, of Domino's Pizza. It's a field of food. But as we've seen in this example, even companies in, let's say, non-innovative fields of operation can innovate. So basically what happened is that customers who have a Domino's Pizza account can use Facebook Messenger to quickly reorder previously ordered pizza combination or a new series of toppings. So basically what they did is that they managed to save the customer preferences, to save their orders, which is a very important aspect for the customers, because in this way they feel valued. They feel that the company has taken care of them. So this is very, very important. We also have an example of digital transformation in retail, because ordering is streamlined and interactive, and since it's tied into social media, as opposed to requiring a separate website or a phone call, the frequency of orders have increased. So, as we can see, we need to tie everything to social media, to what our customers want to experience in order to maintain a high rate of satisfaction. And what the chatbot did was it used a data-based logic system to offer upsells, like for example strategic discounts and related food items. And of course, additionally, the AI-based system saved a lot of labor cost for the pizza chain, because they knew in advance what customer will want to order in the future. So this line of future thinking is very beneficial to our costs, our operational costs and labor costs, of course. And this example of digital transformation reflects the strengths of AI in driving sales. Artificial intelligence is a very important part of our digital transformation, because one of the AI's main strengths is human-like chat. They offer a chatbot, like it's actually like a human would interact with the customer, and in which an algorithm responds to customers in real time using natural language processing. So they offer us, let's say, some predefined options from which we can choose, and then they will talk to us based on those options. And it's a very important automation process that many companies have implemented in the last few years. And artificial intelligence, of course, excels at performing tedious tasks that will stretch the limits of human performance. So let's say if we implement this module of artificial intelligence chatbot to conversate with a customer, we can move our employees, our physical employees, to do some other meaningful tasks instead of this dull and boring conversation with a client that a chatbot can replace. So this limits of human performance includes sifting through vast amounts of data to search for useful patterns, but also gain other insights. to analyze all the data and gain meaningful insights. In this case, patterns in how humans order food delivery to ease friction in the ordering process. Next, we will watch a short movie about digital transformation at Domino's Pizza.
Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and we are going to be talking about something that is near and dear to my heart, pizza. For those that don't know, I am a long time handmade dough throwing pizza man. In fact, earlier this week, I think it was on Monday. It might have been, actually it was on Saturday night. So less than a week ago, I happened to go out to the bars, have a few drinkskis and hutch, and pop in to my old pizzeria where I used to work. And lo and behold, they were being overwhelmed. So yours truly actually had to toss a few doughs and make a few pies to help out my friends over at the delicious Tino's Pizza in Oneonta, New York, home of the cold cheese, as featured on Vice, the Pizza Show, and healthy junk food. If you're interested, I suggest you check those videos out to see what delicious really looks like. So when I saw this, I thought to myself, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Is this the next step in automation? And what am I talking about? Well, folks, check it out. This is now being deployed in Australia and New Zealand. It is the DOM pizza checker. So let's just read it, but you can guess what it is. It's basically a camera that runs an algorithm based on the pizza being built, what it should look like, and what it does look like when it is finally made. Okay? And I got to tell you, this is just step one. This is going to be more and more implemented throughout for employee productivity. And just like Amazon, as we're going to show you, eventually these devices are going to be used to fire people for as long as people actually work in a business like this, as the automation for that will eventually come as well. Yes, your pizzas in chains will be robot made in the near future. Just like in McDonald's, we've seen the transition in the United States that they no longer want you to order with a human being. No, please use the press pad. So Domino's pizza stores in Australia and New Zealand have finally begun using an elaborate new employee monitoring tool to track employees' performance. Who needs a manager? Huh? We've got AI. First announced in 2017, the DOM Pizza Checker was finally implemented at a number of Domino's stores in Oceania beginning this August, according to an investor presentation. The device, a high-powered overhead camera connected to machine learning software that monitors employee performance as they make pizza. The camera matches live image of the pizza being made to an image of the pizza that has been ordered. The algorithm evaluates the pizza as the employee prepares it, measuring the border of the crust, amount of cheese, evenness of the spread, portion of the ingredients, and even temperature. Tom, will you go easier on the sausage? My God, we're trying to make a profit here. The audio alert is played in the store if the pizza deviates from the acceptable range of any criteria evaluated by the DOM Pizza Checker. Triggered to remake command. It's crucial that we clear DOM Pizza Checker is a tool used to train our team members and improve the quality and consistency of our pizzas, not to punish those who make mistakes. Come on now. This is all about profitability. This is all about surveillance. This is all about seeing who they can weed out until they can make a machine make the pizza. Domino's has emphasized increasingly in efficiency and lowered costs. There it is. Lowered costs as a main part of its new fortressing strategy. Through fortressing, franchise stores will be required by their corporate parent and restructured to run more efficiently. This is coming. It's coming to the United States soon. I guarantee it. The company has prioritized customer satisfaction, finding that its customers generally consider that any pizza that had been out of the oven for longer than 25 minutes is to be old and cold, leading to complaints. I mean, come on. And like I said, guys, if you didn't know, this is something that happened back in April, reported on it back in the day, but Amazon has used an AI to automatically fire low productivity workers. Have you seen the South Park from last season where Butter's father is working in that Amazon center? 16 tons, and what do you get? This is the plan until they can get rid of you. They've already cut the hours. There are no benefits. The pay isn't that great at these Amazon facilities. But now AI decides if you're productive or not. Let's just read this small little excerpt here. Amazon's system tracks the rates of each individual associate's productivity. Oh, does it? And automatically generates any warnings or terminations regarding quality or productivity without input from the supervisor. Hey, I don't need a human being to tell me I'm fired. The robot will do it. And this is going to be more and more and more and more in our track, trace, and database society. And believe me, folks, I promise you, it's going to go beyond McDonald's. It's going to go beyond Domino's. It's going to go beyond Amazon. And that same track, trace, database society has already been brought into our homes on not a minute level, really a mega level compared to where it should be. But when people start putting these facial recognition devices that are the next step of the Google smart speaker, right? The Google speaker, or the Alexa device, right? You're going to see even more of this. And all of this is going to be put into your Chinese-style social credit score. Oh, he's a bad parent at home. He's lazy at work. Let's make him more efficient. And that's if you have a job. You see, the robots are really taking over. And as I've stated before, we do not have a very long time to start transitioning society so that people are actually educated in fields that will not be dominated by artificial intelligence and automation. That's the one thing I can agree with on Yang. I totally and completely disagree with his solution, right? Give everybody $1,000 a month. That's gonna help us when automation comes. No, it's not. It's just going to increase the price of goods and services as you're giving people something for nothing, and you're literally lowering the value of a very low dollar that's not based in anything but lies and hate anyway, right? It's based in zeros and ones. It's not backed by gold. It's not backed by a currency. It's really backed by the establishment telling you how much it's actually valued at. And instead of this idea that automation is just going to take so many jobs that we need to start offsetting people financially, how about we start, okay, by looking at our education system and revamping it in such a manner that when somebody gets out of high school at 18 years old, they're either on a career path that isn't going to totally and completely eviscerate their chance for that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness that we're supposedly guaranteed in the Constitution, but facilitating them to be trained in a field that will be ongoing in 2030 and 2040 and 2050, okay? Listen, jobs are going to shift. It's coming. The college system is almost broken anyway. Okay, what's that liberal arts and mass comm degree going to get you? You know, I was in the bar that same night, and I heard somebody talking about his mass comm degree, and an older gentleman was asking, well, what do you want to do? And he's like, just about anything in business. You know, things are changing so fast. No, you didn't learn anything. Your degree is an utter fucking joke, okay? I can't tell you how many mass comm majors that are completely unemployed after the fact and have to train in a different career path or just take a shit job. All right? That's not everybody in mass comm. People in the communications industry that actually work towards a skill set, what do I mean? Audio engineering, video production. There are certain fields in mass communication if you're honing that side of the skill set, not just getting a generalized degree that can provide you with a future and can provide you with the opportunity to prosper in this, ever shrinking economy, in my opinion, right? But that's not what's focused on. They just want to churn them and burn them, man. Let's get that money. It's a money-making machine in those universities. We don't care what kind of degree we give them. We don't care if their fine arts degree isn't going to give them a job, okay? And you heard it here first, okay? Domino's, AI pizza. It's going to be coming to the United States. And I know I have a global audience too, so maybe some of you in the Netherlands and Australia, I'm sorry, it wasn't the Netherlands. What was it? It was New Zealand and Australia have already experienced this. Guys, I realize that this is my first video of the day, but I've been waiting on Dylan Avery. We're supposed to be doing a Ask Me Anything together. He's quite late. And I may just push forward with a few more videos. Hopefully he's going to come in tonight and we're going to take your questions, but I'm doing it 3 to 7 times a day. Kicked out the jams 6 times yesterday on subjects that matter. Australians coming out for Julian Assange. The not-so-secret Chinese UFO helicopter that's been unveiled within the last week. Derek Bros of the Conscious Resistance running for mayor and much more. So make sure you thumbs this video up, share it with others, join the Burmist Brigade if you like material you may not be seeing in the mainstream. And you can watch all my documentary films for free. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, and New World Order Defined. And Shade the Motion Picture right here for free. It's in the documentaries playlist section. And I'm doing it with your help. No Patreon, no subscribe star. You like my stuff? $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. It's keeping me moving. It's keeping me going. I thank you guys. I love you guys. And I will see you all on the flip side.
Yes, a very interesting movie about how the AI will take over the world. So, of course, besides the the disadvantages and the scary things about the AI, this can also be very beneficial to our companies. Further on, we have more examples of digital transformation in marketing this time. So in the 2012, toy and game manufacturer Hasbro saw its market share slipping and had an epiphany. So basically, rather than market to the children, it targeted their parents who actually make the purchase. So they had a shift in perspective. And they began a new digital and data strategy which took a number of years to reach full implementation, but I think it was worth it. So basically the company began gathering and mining customer data to create more targeted marketing campaigns, promoting both nostalgic and newer brands, and it also made a major push into online media, targeting websites with high cohorts of parents. And this data-based online approach gave Hasbro better and more immediate feedback. In 2016, the company broke the 5 billion sales mark for the year and is on track for 6 billion in 2021. Also, one of the main tools for digital transformation in marketing is data, but not raw data, but data that can be turned into something meaningful for our companies. Mining electronic data gathered in massive quantities in data warehouses and lakes, and this greatly increases the ability of sales leaders to hone campaigns. And it usually involves business intelligence software, which is a core tool in digital transformation that allows pinpoint targeting by demographics. Okay, so further on, I invite you to watch together a very interesting film about digital transformation, a toy game and manufacturer that we talked about, Hasbro.
It is surely newsworthy when a company that was not using technology evolves its business model through a digital transformation, especially when it is a toy company. As a child, chances are that you played with toys and board games. There is even a higher chance that you played with a Hasbro toy or game. Hasbro is an American multinational toy company that is based in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. With a market capitalization of over $11 billion, Hasbro is the largest toy and board game company in the world. The Hassenfeld brothers, now called Hasbro, started in 1926, but it did not make its first toy until 1952. Their creation was Mr. Potato Head, which was a smash hit and the first toy to be featured on a television commercial. But you might know Mr. Potato Head from the popular movie Toy Story. For many years, Hasbro was able to capitalize on its multiple lines of successful toys. They produced their own toys, and they also set up licensing agreements to produce toys based on the intellectual property owned by other companies such as Star Wars, Power Rangers, and Pokemon. Hasbro also produces legacy board games such as Monopoly, Operation, Scrabble, Risk, and Battleship. But aside from being one of the world's largest toy makers, Hasbro improved its business model by venturing into film and television properties. As far back as the 80s, Hasbro made a big push to get its IP onto television screens across the country. They had TV programs created for IP like G.I. Joe and Dungeons and Dragons. During this time, the company also leveraged the power of television and film to make toys based on successful TV shows and movies such as Jurassic Park and Barney, which they did not own. But these were the efforts that helped drive toy sales, and by 1989, Hasbro had generated sales of over $1.4 billion. They also leveraged successful shows like the Transformer film series and My Little Pony. Even though the movies and TV series were generating income, Hasbro still considered itself a toy company. As such, the movies and TV shows were ways to sell more toys and keep the franchises relevant. Early digital efforts. Thanks to the success they had in leveraging TV and films to sell toys, Hasbro decided to explore a new media, which was video games. In 1995, they created Hasbro Interactive, that published video games based on existing Hasbro IP. By 1997, Hasbro Interactive had games such as Frogger and Tonka Search in the top 10. They even acquired IP from legacy video games such as Atari and made them available on modern consoles such as PlayStation. Hasbro is unique in not approaching its brands on a product-by-product basis, but instead it thinks about them as far-reaching narratives across multiple platforms. This unique approach has led them to partner with Electronic Arts. Their partnership has helped to adapt Hasbro's board games onto digital platforms. And now, with an abundance of board games appearing on digital platforms, board games have made a comeback. Risk is just one of the board games that saw a surge in popularity under the Hasbro and EA partnership. Today, board games like Monopoly, Scrabble, and the Game of Life have all taken off on digital platforms. As far back as 2011, these 3 digital board games were in the top 20 for paid iPhone apps. This continued partnership between Hasbro and EA has brought these board game classics to consoles, smartphones, and even social networks. As people evolved, the games and toys industries had to evolve with them. Before 2012, Hasbro held the ideology that you may sell toys to parents, but you actually market to their children. Eventually, Hasbro got even more serious about data, and this changed their mode of operation. They transformed their advertising and social media strategies to kids of all ages, including parents. They honed in on their data and omni-channel marketing. Since their products span across online and offline channels, Hasbro found a way to give their customers a seamless experience. And thanks to their efforts, the toy company sales have grown tremendously. It is no secret that digital is at the heart of their success. Hasbro's makeover has included plenty of social, running ads and creating audiences on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Snapchat. Even Hasbro's 7 core brands, namely Transformers, G.I. Joe, Nerf, Monopoly, My Little Pony, Magic the Gathering, and Play-Doh, have used a series of interactive campaigns to attract over 20 million fans. And according to Hasbro's SVP of Digital Marketing, Victor Lee, the speed of innovation isn't limited to just social media. He added that the speed in which we can gather and process data and build out programs, creative testing, and media buying has changed the entire marketing landscape. With its unique business model, Hasbro has transformed itself into a media brand, and it is mastering the art of community building, both online and offline. After embracing their omni-channel marketing, Hasbro's investors have begun to see a brighter future, especially with its stock price rising from $86 to $103 since last year. To showcase their worth in digital capabilities, Hasbro made a giant $3.8 billion acquisition of Peppa Pig and PG Masks producer Entertainment One. Also, the toy manufacturer's sales got a boost thanks to partner brands like Disney. Besides getting access to children's TV hits such as Peppa Pig, Hasbro is getting a production studio. If Hasbro can consistently create a stream of TV and movie revenues and licensing fees based on its other franchises, it is bound to do wonders that will drive growth in the decade ahead. In today's digital world, it is all about creating experiences across multiple mediums like toys, TV shows, video games, and even a presence at parks. And so Hasbro has a plan to capitalize on a changing consumer. If they continue at this pace, they are sure to remain one of the best and largest toy companies in the world for a very long time. We hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and press the notification bell so you never miss an upload.
Yeah, so very interesting movie about toy company. Now we move on to digital transformation in the banking sector. So basically institutions across the financial sector, such as Wells Fargo and Bank of America, have automated all their transactions, or most of them at least, even as this has required handling major security and compliance issues. Of course, we have some challenges that we might encounter during our way to digitalize our business. And the fascinating aspect of this example is that instead of one limited instance, retail banks have undergone a rolling adoption of digital transformation over the last 3 decades. And the major milestone in this process was the adoption of automated teller machines. So basically what we all know as ATMs these days. The machines from which we can withdraw money and also deposit and many other operations. So this can be done without human assistance, which is very important in the process of digital transformation of the banking sector. And this has been a leader in using automation to save on staff costs. For a contrasting example, we can look at the grocery sector, which didn't move heavily to self-checkout until the last few years. So we only have self-checkout machines, only dating from a few years back. Globally, less than 200,000 units existed in 2013, which is expected to rise to 1.2 million units in 2025. The banking sector is also a leader in digital transformation in its use of mobile. And its adoption of mobile banking uses a combination of edge computing, It's a network of secure gateways and Internet of Things devices, cell phones in this case, to provide a convenient feature to all the customers. Edge computing allows all the devices in remote locations to process data at the edge of the network, either by the device or a local service. So this is basically what the edge computing does. And when data needs to be processed in the central data center, only the most important data is transmitted, thereby minimizing all the latency that we might encounter. Now we'll watch a short movie about the differences between edge computing and cloud computing. Let's watch it together.
Hello everyone and welcome to webinar number 5 here at Tea Time with Demakis. And today we're going to be talking about edge computing versus cloud computing and the impact of edge computing on society. So let's start with, what is cloud computing? What's the cloud computing difference anyway? Cloud computing allows you to work off of cloud, a remote server with massive storage space. The cloud is not only used for saving data. Cloud computing uses the internet to run your software, applications, and network from a remote cloud server offsite. You can read more about cloud computing and cloud storage on our blog page. In today's piece, we're going to be discussing what edge computing is and answering the question, why does it matter? What is edge computing? StackPath defines edge computing as a distributed architecture that reduces latency by housing applications, data, and compute resources at locations geographically closer to end users. Simply put, edge computing processes data in local edge devices rather than in cloud, where it would take more bandwidth and time to send back to the device. The original intent for using edge computing was to reduce bandwidth costs for IoT devices over long distances. But now, with a huge upsurge of internet-connected devices and real-time applications, edge computing is required for local processing and storage competencies needed for these apps. There are several examples of edge computing uses. The most relatable example is your iPhone's facial recognition feature. If the facial recognition algorithm had to run through cloud, it would take forever for your phone to unlock. That's why the edge computing device is your iPhone itself. In the case of surveillance cameras, specifically when the use of several cameras is required simultaneously, running a live feed through cloud would reduce its quality as well as increase its latency. With a live feed, latency should be practically zero. Edge computing will run its feed locally, eliminating latency and quality issues. Many mobile network carriers are already incorporating edge computing into their 5G deployments to better improve their data processing speed instead of going through the cloud. To summarize, some of the practical uses of edge computing are facial recognition, virtual or augmented reality apps, surveillance or security cameras, Alexa or Google Assistant, or industrial automation. So which is better, some may ask? But it's not a matter of which is better, but what is its intended use? For massive amounts of data storage, or for software and apps that don't have real-time processing needs, cloud would be the solution. It's also not a question of edge versus hybrid data centers, rather, creating a hybrid environment to house both edge and cloud capabilities effectively to optimize the benefits of each. To summarize, some of the key benefits of edge computing are reduced bandwidth costs, real-time computing power, substantially reduced latency issues, accelerated performance experiences, and operation efficiency. As with many new technologies, there are security risks that exist. These risks are mainly posed by the use of several edge devices that may not be as secure as the cloud. That's why Demakis Technologies is trusted by many businesses. We safeguard all edge devices by ensuring data is encrypted and the correct access control strategies are used to prevent edge computing problems. When necessary, we also employ VPN tunneling as an additional security measure. So what does the future of edge computing look like? Well, the benefits of edge computing are extremely valuable for the anticipated growth of real-time and augmented reality applications that require instant processing that edge does locally. Whether you are a retailer, warehouse, app creator, or any other business and you recognize a need for edge computing technology to be ahead of the game, call us to set up a free consultation to discuss your business's needs. We will tailor the right edge computing solutions for your business. Welcome to the future of the edge computing world. Are you ready? I hope you all found clarity in today's webinar number 5 topic on edge computing versus cloud computing. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys back here on our next webinar here at Tea Time with Demakis.
So a very interesting movie about the differences between edge computing and cloud computing. And now getting back to our example about the digital transformation in the banking sector, allowing customers to create automatic payment, as we discussed, means that at the very basic levels, users are deploying automation themselves. And furthermore, third-party payment systems like Google Pay and Apple Pay will let customers pay for everyday purchases. I think everyone does it on a certain level with their automated payments with wave of their smartphones. This is yet another example of deploying technology near field communication, NFC, to enable an easier process. And there is a good reason Uber grabbed so much market share from traditional taxi companies over the last decade. This is an example of digital transformation in transportation. Uber is a very innovative company that took an in-depth data-driven look at the taxi industry and identified all the pain points of customers, from locating a nearby taxi to offering non-cash payments. Using a key element of digital transformation strategy by active listening using data, the company catered to customers in ways they'd never been responded to before. And all of this logistics and data center strategy was built into the smartphone app, which facilitates convenient and also rapid customer feedback. So this is yet another example of close listening to the customers and what they want and what they need. This example of real-time interactive listening to echoed in a foundational practice in digital transformation. So basically here is about using digital social media to form a close bond with customers, which is a very important aspect. The interactive smartphone app is being a click away from major social media platforms, and in the mind of many consumers is the same world. So clearly, as we can see, which is the pinpoint of all of this, that social media has become the new customer service desk. Also, LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook have replaced 800 lines and emails for instant communications between all the sellers and customers, which are handling sales, disputes, and also measuring brand sentiment. Moving on, we have another example of digital transformation in healthcare. So telehealth services like Teladoc, MeMD, MD Live, and a host of other providers enable users to receive care from healthcare professionals using a webcam, also lessening the need for physical infrastructure and including fewer staff hours spent supporting waiting hours. So now let's watch a short movie together about what we need to use and why do we need to use the telehealth.
Telehealth can help with many of your day-to-day healthcare needs. If you have a chronic condition like diabetes, high blood pressure, or HIV, you can use telehealth to connect with your care team and track your treatment plan. If you take medication, your healthcare provider can connect you with a pharmacist to help manage your prescriptions. Need an X-ray or lab test? your healthcare provider can order it for you virtually. Plus, many mental health professionals offer telehealth services so you can get the counseling and support you need remotely. To learn more, visit telehealth.hhs.gov.
Okay. So an important advantage of digital transformation is a better focus on the customer, and that's certainly true with telehealth, which allows better care for rural and other isolated patients. So this is a very important aspect, especially in the rural area of all the countries. And also, not to mention, enabling an on-demand format that's more flexible for all patients. This market of telehealth is forecast to expand to from 144 billion in 2020 to 646 billion by 2028. Okay. Now let's watch a short movie about the rise of telemedicine, and is this the future of healthcare, really?
The novel coronavirus pandemic has stretched healthcare systems to the brink. COVID-19 might be getting all the headlines, but patients are still getting sick from other diseases and injuries, and that's left doctors looking for other ways to treat them while minimizing contact. Enter telemedicine. Telemedicine is broadly defined as the use of electronic communications and software to monitor and treat patients in lieu of an inpatient visit. Over the past decade, telehealth, a broader term used to define all medical services and health education delivered digitally, has grown steadily as an industry. According to IBISWorld, the industry's revenue has grown 34.7% from 2014 to 2019. The market size in 2019 was around $45 billion, but it's projected to grow to more than $175 billion by 2026. Despite the increase in revenue, Americans have been slow to adopt the practice. According to a 2017 study, 82% of U.S. consumers don't use it. Like all of American life, that changed with the novel coronavirus.
The number of Medicare patients using telehealth has increased from roughly 11,000 a week to more than 650,000 people a week.
It's led to a surge in usage for telemedicine companies such as Teladoc and American Well, and video conferencing company Zoom, whose stock is up more than 150% since the start of 2020. Shares of Microsoft, which owns video conferencing software Skype and its Teams platform, are up more than 14% since the start of 2020. Telemedicine visits surged to 50% in March and are on pace to reach 200 million by the end of 2020. That's up from earlier predictions of 36 million. America's healthcare system has skipped the test run and jumped to using telemedicine as a primary means of care during the coronavirus pandemic. Here's how coronavirus could change the future of U.S. healthcare. Telemedicine dates back to the mid-20th century, when radios were used to provide medical advice on ships. In hospitals, the first usage was in the 1950s, through a closed-circuit television link for psychiatric consultations. In the last 30 years, telemedicine treatment has expanded to mental health, stroke, and patients with chronic diseases like asthma, diabetes, or heart failure. A number of research studies found it to be an effective alternative and satisfying for both the patient and provider. Telehealth proponents have sold it as a solution for patients in rural areas. Now, they advocate it as a low-cost and convenient option for tech-savvy millennials and busy parents as well. A 2019 American Well study found that 66% of Americans are willing to use telehealth, but only 8% had already tried it. Dr. Michael Barnett is an assistant professor of health policy and management at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health and a primary care physician at the Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. He's published papers about telemedicine adoption in the U.S.
There are many different reasons why the use has been so low. The first is that insurers are very worried that people would use too much telemedicine if they covered it too easily. And so there are lots of restrictions on the kind of telemedicine visit that insurers will pay for. So, for example, Medicare, which is the big federal government payer that covers older adults and the disabled, they only pay for telemedicine if somebody is a rural resident. And you also have to go to a specific kind of facility with a specific kind of equipment, and it has to be a doctor that you've already seen. In addition to that, in the US, I think people are really quite attached to seeing their doctors in person. Doctors are also, their business model is very much tied to seeing patients in the office. So they don't have a lot of incentive to offer telemedicine because there isn't really a whole lot of patient demand.
So when the government announced that they would lift telehealth restrictions for Medicare, it was a big deal.
Today, we're also announcing a dramatic expansion of our Medicare telehealth services. Medicare patients can now visit any doctor by phone or video conference at no additional cost, including with commonly used services like FaceTime and Skype.
The move paved the way for private insurers and others to waive their restrictions. However, the new exceptions didn't void requirements states might have for telehealth. Telemedicine has been cast as a tool to protect medical professionals from exposure to COVID-19, to help reduce reliance on personal protective equipment, and keep the vulnerable and healthy at home. Now, coronavirus could boost telehealth interactions to 1 billion by the end of 2020. Telemedicine companies like Teladoc and American Well have seen a big boost in users during the coronavirus pandemic. They've been able to meet demand thanks to most states temporarily modifying their license requirements for doctors, meaning a doctor in one state can diagnose a patient in another state. That's led Credit Suisse listing Teladoc as one of their top 10 investment ideas amid COVID-19. Berenberg Capital Markets predicts the company's market opportunity can only head upwards. And William Blair has called it the only clear beneficiary of the COVID-19 outbreak in our universe. Even tech companies are entering the telemedicine space. Here's CNBC reporter Christina Farr on the growing overlap between health and tech.
So all of the major tech companies out in Silicon Valley have been interested in telemedicine now for years and have been studying ways to incorporate it into their products. Microsoft, for instance, has been developing chatbots, has collaboration software like Teams. They also have video conferencing services. Same with Apple, same with Google. And increasingly, they're finding ways to point people to use these sorts of services.
While telemedicine on paper looks like a near-perfect solution for policymakers, it isn't always the best solution for providers or patients. Dr. Jessica Bender is a primary care doctor and a clinical instructor of medicine at the University of Washington.
Telehealth is not for all issues. So we want to provide the right care to the right patient at the right time. Some medical issues just cannot be resolved over the phone or over video and require an in-person visit.
Doctors are not always paid the same amount for a virtual visit as they are for an inpatient visit. As of December 2019, only 10 states pay the same amount or have what they call payment parity laws.
There are a number of states that have passed so-called parity laws that basically force insurers to pay the same amount of money for a telemedicine visit as an in-person visit. And the fact that telemedicine pays less than the in-person visit is another reason why it's been adopted less, because not only are there all these requirements for whether you get paid or not, but also in many situations, doctors may not get paid as much for doing the same service.
Additionally, to access telemedicine services, patients need reliable internet access. And according to a 2020 Broadband Now study, 42 million Americans don't have access to a wired or wireless broadband connection.
Telehealth has a risk of exacerbating pre-existing inequities in healthcare, in either access to care or in health outcomes. We talk about something called the digital divide. So large parts of the country are rural and may not have access to high-speed internet.
A very interesting presentation about telehealth, but next we'll move on. So the question regarding telehealth still remains: is telemedicine the future of healthcare? And it's a topical question. It still remains to be solved. So now we talk about Carrefour Belgium charge in food retail digital transformation. So a local example from Belgium. Carrefour Belgium runs SAP on Google Cloud in order to reduce the enterprise risk and increase security and availability, while leveraging Google Cloud solutions to strengthen data analytics. So basically Carrefour Belgium, which is a part of the Carrefour Group and one of the largest grocers in Belgium, has taken a leading position in digital transformation in retail, which is not such a digitalized field of operation. And their Chief Information Officer, Oliver Luxon, says the following thing, that when you are in charge of such a critical transformation, you simply want to have the best partners with you, and that's definitely the case with the Google Cloud team. And technology, we can say, is vital, of course, to carry Carrefour Belgium services now and into the future. This has prompted us to rethink our industry position as a digital retail company rather than just a grocer, says also Stijn Stable, Chief Technology Officer at Carrefour Belgium. And in order to achieve their goals, IT goals, they needed to know a stronger cloud footprint to enable their goals. This was the presentation about digital transformation. I hope you enjoy it, and I wish you a nice and pleasant day in the future. Goodbye.